All right. Do you see the timer going at the top? It's recording. All right, we're good. Okay, well, which prompt did you choose?
The funny.
So you wrote about a funny or favorite
Yes.
day, and did you also include a lesson that you learned?
Yes.
So, all
In
right.
the
So
very back
it
page.
didn't quite. This prompt didn't quite tell us whether it needed to be in an article or a letter.
Yeah.
So you decided just to make it a story, right?
Mhm.
So I've got my title. I'm going to read through it, and then we're going to stop and we're going to talk about parts that you did well on and some things that you want to improve on, okay? It was a hot summer day. It was a hot day in summer, and we had a bouncy party for behavior. I had been on all the bouncies except for one, and that was the bouncy house. So me, Levi, Eli, and Landon were in line to go and do bouncies and flips. All right, I love that this is a true narrative. You're starting it out just like a story. It was a hot summer day. The other thing I'm looking for in this beginning, and maybe you're going to do it in the next paragraph, is something for your prompt to let me know that you're going to write about a favorite or a fun day. Do you mention the word fun somewhere in here? Do you remember? No. Okay. Just try to remember in that beginning. I know we're trying to hook our reader, but you also have to establish that purpose. So you could have said, little did I know this was going to be one of the best days ever. Does that let me know I'm going to be writing about something fun or favorite?
Yeah.
Yeah, just that one sentence that brings in your purpose while you're writing, okay? We'll continue. We were next in line, so we pulled a prank on the girls that were in the bouncy house. Imagine that.
We were surprised they actually fell for it.
Oh my goodness.
They had just gone in there.
Okay, and you've already established, I usually ask you not to begin with pronouns in a topic sentence, but you've already established that we include yourself, Levi, Eli, and Landon.
Yep.
Got it. We counted 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then crawled out, and we started, what's this part right here? Dying laughing?
Yeah.
Okay, so what I'm hearing right here is Will is some nice voice. When you're counting down like that, you separated with commas. I would almost use the ellipses, the dot, dot.
Yeah.
So 8, dot, dot. Because you're telling your reader to pause for a second. 8, 7, 6. See how I would have a longer pause, and it has a better effect on the reader for audience awareness.
And then Miss Mushy was like, "Where'd they go?" And we're like, "Oh, they just left."
So this was a third grade moment, or no?
Fifth grade.
Fifth grade. Okay. About 30 seconds later, I like that you put this here because it shows time's past, and that's a transition. Owen and I just discussed how to use transitions in narratives, and it's different from the way we use it in informational and opinion writing. We normally say first and second, but narratives are different because you're doing it with more of a time transitions, about 30 seconds later. So good use there, Owen. Not Owen, Will. We decided to play tag, so we all ran to one beam of the bouncy house. Eli then came running in and jumped on the beam, and the bouncy house went down.
Yeah.
And I do think this is the same story I heard from Owen just now.
Yeah.
So we know the responsible culprit, don't we?
Except this time I was in the bouncy house.
Oh, sorry. Is this a favorite or a scary moment for you? Because those were the two prompts.
I thought it was a funny.
So fun, okay. Because do you see how you could have used the same situation for the first prompt?
Yeah.
Talk about a scary moment. Yeah. Okay. Lucky for me, there's another use of a transition. I had jumped in the middle of it. The next thing I knew, the bouncy house ceiling was on top of me. It wasn't really
Heavy.
I wasn't really happy.
No, it wasn't really heavy.
Oh, it wasn't really heavy. Gotcha. I then
Crawled.
crawled out and said, It wasn't me. It wasn't me." Again, you've got some nice voice there. You're telling us your inner thoughts. I like the way you put this in parentheses because that lets me know it's an inner thought. When I got out, all I could see was people
Stacked on top of each other.
people stacked together like it was a
River.
river. Then, one by one, They all crawled out. Yes, the bouncy house
Did inflate back.
did inflate back up
Yeah.
in its original form. Love these specific word choices, original form. And again, very strong awareness of voice here, Will. See your natural transitions when I got out. You know to begin that paragraph. I love that, Will, that you know to begin the paragraph when something different comes along and there's a moment of time. All right, so, but right after that, it was time to leave. While Tennis and I were putting on our shoes, we talked about our points of view of the incident. Nice reading word there.
Because he was in there too, and he was like pretty much on the bottom.
Awesome. So he had a different perspective than you. Nice. Every time we bring it up, we all start laughing to death. I know we all know to have
To never.
play. Now I think
Yeah.
now we all know never to play tag in a bouncy house. So you're pulling in that lesson you learned.
Yes.
Did you run out of time at this point? Or are you completely out of time?
No.
I would go on to explain that a little bit more. Otherwise, you're just saying, okay, here's my lesson learned, and you're not reflecting on it.
Yeah.
Reflecting on it would have given you more idea development, okay? Given those more specific details, all right? This is a really nice piece, Will. Good job. Did you bring your pencil?
No. You want me to get it?
Actually, let's see if there's one right here. I do want you to get your pencil. Because there's not one right here. All right, well, looking at the rubric, looking at purpose, did you clearly establish your purpose in the beginning? We didn't hear those words from the prompt, but I do think you did stay on topic all the way through, and you brought in the lesson you learned. But just don't forget that first paragraph needs to have some kind of key word from the prompt, okay? So give yourself a 4 on that. The next one I think is your strength, Will. You have a very distinctive voice. You give us your inner thoughts, you talk to the reader, you keep them engaged. I think you do have specific details. That's a 4. If you want to move over to distinguish in that area, you want to try to be insightful. Get your reader to stop thinking, you know what I was left wondering about Tennis? What was his perspective? If he was at the bottom of the pile of the bouncy, I wanted to know what he was thinking and feeling.
Like he was like saying like, oh, I've been in near-death experience.
I can see that too. Uh, do you see how that would have brought more
Yeah.
insight? Okay, you have a great logical organization. Give yourself a 3 there. Your transitions were subtle. They weren't first, they weren't second, they were natural transitions, okay? And a nice variety of sentence structure. That's a 3 as well. All right. Grammar, I don't think we saw any grammar issues throughout, so give yourself a 3. We saw some precise word choices. You used original form. You crawled out, I think. Very acceptable vocabulary. Give yourself a 2 there. And overall, very few errors, so a 2 there as well. So when we add this up, Will, this is a 29. You are 3 points away from distinguished. What was your last writing check?
I think I was in this. I was in either. I was in low proficient.
Look how you've grown. You went from low proficient to high proficient. What do you think you've done the most to help you?
Probably transitions.
Transitions, and they're smooth, okay? So you think that's something you want to work on, or is that something you've done well?
Something I've done well.
All right, I think you have done. I think your voice is amazing. What do you think you need to work on?
Probably. I'm trying to see what I'm low in.
Do you want to look at the rubric?
Yes, please. Probably in idea development.
I certainly agree. In fact, that's what I was writing on your paper. You want to use those sensory details. Did we talk about how in narratives we write with our face? Okay, let me explain what that means. I don't think we did. In opinion and information writing, we always tell you to use those specific examples. In narrative writing, it's different. I call it write with your face. So watch me. When you write with a narrative, when you tell a story, you have to tell what you see, what you hear, what you speak, what you hear, what you smell, what you feel.
Yeah.
We got to use those sensory details. That's what's going to move you over to distinguished.
You know,
When you were in that bouncy house, what'd you smell? Sweat.
no.
What did it
Plastic.
feel like coming?
I
Plastic.
smelled plastic.
Okay, what did it feel like coming down on you? You said it wasn't very heavy. How do you know that? Show that.
It felt. I liked it. It felt like
Show, not tell.
a bed. It felt
okay?
like an air bed.
Oh, it did? See, I would want to know that. And there's a lot of people who don't know what an airbed feels like. Okay? So I do think idea development and details are the area you want to improve in the most, Will. Nice job.
Earlier this week,
Uh-huh.
in enrichment, we have enrichment,
Uh-huh.
and in there she
Patton.
yeah she like we got out our journals and she told us like some examples to help us.
Awesome. She's really helped, all of your teachers have really helped you grow in writing, haven't they? Go ahead and bubble in A3. Done a great job on this one.
Thank you.
Keep doing what you're doing, Will, and you've got this.
Do I need to move my
Yes. Well, I need Wyatt next.
Okay.
If you can have him come out.
Do I need to move my block?
Ask Miss Yates and see, okay?